If you have invested just $100 in Bitcoin in 2011, you could have made almost $2 million today. You could have become a millionaire just with $100, maybe a billionaire if you have invested a couple of thousands of dollars. And there are people who actually made a fortune out of it. Bitcoin is the hottest topic today because its price is absolutely skyrocketing. It went from a single dollar in 2011 to over $18,000 in recent days. And a lot of people are wondering if they still should invest in Bitcoin. Is it too late or there is still a fortune to be made? And that's the question we'll try to answer in this video. But before that, we have to understand what Bitcoin is in the first place and how exactly it works. For much of history, we have used gold, silver, and some other metals as form of currency, but the most famous one of them was gold. In fact, it was used until 1971, and that's pretty much the reason why we have Bitcoin today. Look, we have been using paper money for centuries, but it was different then because it was backed by gold. That means that every dollar used to represent an amount of gold in the bank. So instead of carrying a pack of gold with you every time, you could have simply carried papers and get your gold anytime you want. In other words, you can't simply print money like governments do today unless you have gold to back it with. And that's where the problem started. Right after the Second World War, United States dollar became the international currency of the world because United States had more than 70% of the gold, so they could print more money than anyone else. But unfortunately, United States printed more money than the amount of gold they had. So when other countries requested United States to exchange their dollars for gold, United States replied, "Oops, sorry, we no longer exchange dollars for gold because we don't really have that gold." And that's what happened in 1971. And since then, our money is simply a piece of paper that doesn't really have real value. And the people in power can simply print as much money as they want. And that's why prices increase every year. But it didn't stop there. It crashed the whole economy in 2008. And guess what did the governments do to save the economy? Yes, exactly. They printed even more money. United States alone printed almost $4 trillion. And that's the basic problem with the paper money that we use right now. It's centralized, controlled by a small group of people, and can be easily created out of thin air. So a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto came out with a new currency that's decentralized because it's controlled by everyone who is in the network, not even the government, and it cannot be created out of thin air. In fact, limited amount of them exist like gold, and named it Bitcoin. So let's find out how exactly it works. Bitcoin works on a technology that's called blockchain. It's pretty complicated to understand, but here is a simplified version. Everything on internet is a copy of the original. This video is a copy of the original video that's on my computer, and I can create as many copies as I want. And the same applies to everything else that's on the internet. Articles, pictures, you name it. So it's impossible to create a digital currency because you can simply just copy it. And that's what blockchain is for. Everyone in the network can see how exactly every single coin moves from one person to another. In fact, you can see the entire history of each coin once you join the network. So if anyone tries to corrupt the system, the entire network will find that out immediately and reject it. Therefore, it's almost impossible to cheat. All the new transactions are collected into a new block, and a new block is created every 10 minutes, and all these blocks are connected to each other, and that's why it's called blockchain. But no matter how advanced is this technology, it still can be hacked, right? Not exactly. Every new block besides recording new transaction also includes all other transactions that has ever been in the history of the network. And for the system to recognize a block, it must match all other blocks that has ever been created in the network. In fact, it also has to match the next block that will be created in the next 10 minutes and all the future blocks as well. On the top of that, every single block and every single transaction has an advanced cryptography, and if a new block will be added that doesn't match all other blocks that has been created previously and will be created in the future, the cryptography in every single of them changes, which makes it even easier to recognize the corrupted block. And this makes it almost impossible to hack, not because no one knows how to do it, but rather the computer power that's needed to do that should be bigger than the entire network, which consists of millions of computers. And the bigger the system grows, the more secure it gets. So if you want to send money, you don't have to go to the bank or any third party, but rather you can do it at your fingertips and for free, especially when it comes to sending money to another country. You don't have to wait for days for the bank to do it, but rather wait for 10 minutes once a new block is created. But the main question is, should you invest in Bitcoin? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because obviously it seems like that's the future of our money. But Bitcoin isn't the only cryptocurrency out there. There are also Ethereum, Litecoin, and others. But Bitcoin is the one that's growing the fastest. And that's the problem. Just since January of this year, it has grown from less than $1,000 to almost $20,000, and anything that's growing too fast will eventually collapse and come back to its real value. But we don't know how far it will go. It might go to $20,000, $25,000, or $100,000 before it collapses. So you have to make your own research, and if you want to invest, remember that's a big risk that you're going to take. And now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Bitcoin is going to be the future currency of the world, or is it just a hype that's going to disappear after a while? I would love to know your opinion. And as always, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the subscribe button to see more similar videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.